Hey everyone. So the question that I want to tackle today is, why is history so boring? And honestly, with my response, you can probably plug in any subject that you want to put in there. Maybe you've always enjoyed history but hated math, or whatever it is that you want to put in. Why is it that certain subjects just seem so boring to us? Well, G.K. Chesterton said that there's no such thing as a boring subject. There are only bored people or disinterested minds. So what does he mean by that? I think here Chesterton is putting the burden on the learner as opposed to the subject area itself. You see, the way we approach a subject as a learner will affect how much we enjoy or benefit from a certain subject area. I think we desperately need a new approach to education, and really it's an old approach to education, and it's the idea that all things, no matter how insignificant, are worth knowing. Now that doesn't mean that we can know all things simultaneously, right? But we've been given this capacity to learn. We've been made in such a way and put into a universe that was created that in such a way that we can learn and we can study and we can gain knowledge about ourselves and our environment. And so approaching subjects as if anything that we learn is worth knowing can really change the way that we feel about learning in general. We've contributed to the problem of bored students by telling them that education is primarily utilitarian. Why do I go to school? Well, you go to school so that you can eventually graduate from high school. And why do you graduate from high school? So that you can then go to college. And why do you go to college? So that then you can get a better paying job. Everything has a utilitarian end. So when we come to a subject like philosophy or history or music appreciation and art appreciation, these don't seem to have really utilitarian ends to them. And so we start to find them to be less and less important. I want to point you to my video, Why the Humanities, in my YouTube channel, to tackle some of the reasons why we should be studying the humanities, even though there's no apparent utilitarian end for them. I also remember being in school and having teachers, especially in math class. Math was the subject that just didn't do it for me when I was in grade school. And just teachers coming up with these contrived stories about how I'd be sitting in the grocery store one day wishing I had paid attention in Algebra 2. That's just not a way to motivate a student. Trying to convince students that they're going to need this information one day, especially in our culture that wants instant gratification, is not going to be very persuasive. And it's not just that it's not persuasive, it really is a very kind of minimalistic approach to education in general. You see, education is formative. Education is something that we pursue as humans because it's part of our nature to pursue these things. And as I said before, that James Shaw quote, the idea that all things, no matter how insignificant, are worth knowing. When we approach education that way, we can really start to be motivated to learn things. It wasn't until then when I was kind of encountered with this approach to education, which came in my graduate studies, that something even like math all of a sudden appealed to me. You see, I'm already working. I'm a teacher. What do I need to go back and take math classes for? Nothing if education is merely utilitarian. If education is just about getting a job and doing that job well, I don't need to learn any additional math. I don't use a lot of math in life or in my profession. But I want to know more because I truly believe that any truth that I learn, I'm thinking God's thoughts after him. And so how can we maybe motivate ourselves as students? Well, the important step that I'll share with you today is that we need to be willing to set aside our own interests and desires just long enough to thoughtfully study something else for its own sake. Study something for no other motivation than to understand the thing itself. Okay? There's so many educational opportunities, free educational opportunities online with YouTube and iTunes U. Pick up a subject and learn it just for the sake of learning it. Learn it because knowing it is worth it. Right? Invest some time, and all of our time is different. Some of us have very busy schedules, some of us have a little bit more time, but start to approach things as things that are worth learning, even if it may not get you a raise at your job or a promotion at your job, or it may not get you to that career goal that you have, because education's not just about that. In fact, we're removing the soul of education if it becomes all about our work and our job. Okay. So when we approach something from the perspective that I'm suggesting, many times it will ignite the fire for learning everything we possibly can. And I think as humans, as beings that are made in the image of God, we're in a much better place when that's our passion. All right, I hope this was helpful. Feel free to comment below if you have any questions or suggestions, things that motivate you to learn. I look forward to seeing the responses. Thanks.